Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to replace the thermal paste or redo the thermal paste on this Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 10. Alright, so if you want to see how to remove the bottom cover, I have another video showing that, as well as going over the other internal components. For this specific video, we're just going to remove the battery, make sure it's safe to work on, and then go ahead and redo the thermal paste. So we're using a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver to undo the screws that are holding the battery in place. You want to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So we got two here, and then it looks like we have one on either side here. And then it looks like one more on either side at the top there. So 6 screws in total. Okay, again, keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. There might be screws in the middle as well. I don't know if that might not be part of the battery. So we're going to try and pull up the battery first with just these screws, and then we'll see if we have to remove more. Okay. So the battery connector is on this side. We're going to go ahead and pop that up. I just go under here with my fingernail and then just pull it straight up. Maybe you have to go over here as well. Yep. And yeah, there we go. So there's the battery removed. We didn't have to take out the screws there. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to actually open up the laptop. And we're going to press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This makes it a lot safer to work on, alright? So that way you don't have to worry about anything arcing or something if you accidentally drop something on it. But yeah, 15 seconds, just do that. If it's very important to do that. It's not like you need to, but there's a very good chance if you don't, you can cause more damage to your computer. So just take those 15 seconds, alright? We're going to disconnect the fan connector here. I just use my fingernails at the wings of this connector and pull it like that. Usually I would have to wiggle it, but this one came out super easy. You can see they put a dot here to show which side stays up. Alright, we got 4 screws holding this thing down. It looks like we're going to have to switch over to a PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. So let's go ahead and undo those screws. That one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, there are thermal pads here, so we're going to carefully, slowly peel this up. Okay, usually it helps to kind of use this and pull it like this, so it like twists this thing to release the old thermal paste and stuff. You can see how it's kind of wiggling. Okay, and then while I'm doing that, I'm going to kind of lift slightly on here. I gotta be careful because you don't want to bend the metal, so let's try and go from here a little bit. Okay, and then lift these. Alright, and you want to go slow because, again, you don't want to bend the metal. Okay, we'll go from this side as well. This side's easily lifting, and actually now the fan is kind of coming up. This side is kind of holding strong, so we're going to have to peel this out. There we go. Okay, and then keep wiggling, and I'm going to use my fingernail on this side and kind of peel. The thermal pad is actually very thick. Okay, so it actually tore out little pieces of the thermal pad. We can actually reuse the thermal pad since it's going to sit back down in the same spot. It should go back in and it should be okay. We are going to have to replace this stuff though. It's not super pasty as you can see. So yeah. Alright, the way I get this stuff out is first I just use one of these little plastic tools to kind of scrape and remove the majority of it, and then we're going to have to use some isopropyl alcohol to get the remainder off. Okay, so that's what it looks like currently. And yeah, this paste is somewhat solid, so most likely this is going to be bad. It's not super solid. Sometimes when it gets really bad, it becomes like a rock. But yeah, so this, it's not completely bad, but the customer was telling me the fan was like running kind of fast even though they weren't doing anything with it. So we'll just scrape the stuff off here. Okay, and you can see how it's like kind of crumbly instead of like pasty. And this was originally a paste, so that's bad. That means this stuff is bad. Okay, Alright, so we'll get that stuff off. I'm going to need a paper towel in a bit, but for now, let's go ahead and clean this stuff, scrape the stuff off the heatsink as well. Same thing, I'm just going to do this, scrape it up, and it helps to do this kind of over a trash can to dump that junk away. Okay, so usually I would hold it upside down over a trash can, but to show you guys what I'm doing, I'm just doing it over on my desk like this, okay? But you don't want this crumbly stuff kind of sticking on everything else, because it's especially on the thermal pads, because it's not very effective anymore, so, okay. Alright, so we got that stuff out for the most part, and dump this in the trash. And I'll be back with some paper towels, okay? So we're just gonna dump this stuff off real quick. Alright, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, I'm back. So I wiped this off with a little bit of dry paper towel. Now we're gonna use some isopropyl alcohol and just get that on the paper towel, and we're gonna wipe this up to get any remaining residue and oils and stuff off. Okay, and then once you do that, dry it up. Use a dry portion. And then I have this little air blower I like to use to blow away any dust or lint. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the heatsink here. We're going to get some isopropyl alcohol on there. And we're just going to wipe the old paste away. Oh, that stuff is stuck on there pretty good. So you can see how we're trying to wipe it, and it's really kind of staying on there. That's because the paste is bad. Okay. Alright, we're going to fold this to a clean side, add some more isopropyl alcohol to the paper towel, and do this again. Be careful not to bend the heat pipes. Okay. Off, and then use a dry portion and dry that off. Okay, and there we go. And now we're gonna again use this to blow the dust away. If you want, on these where the thermal pads are, you can kind of bend them a little, so that way when you go to push this back down, it will put pressure onto it. So this, you can kind of bend them down a little bit. Okay, oops, sorry, you can bend these down a little bit, but don't go too crazy. All right, so you can see now it kind of like curves down. So when we put the screws back in, it will apply pressure into the pads. Okay, so that's good. All right, we're gonna be replacing the thermal paste with PTM7950. Okay, so if you don't know what that is, it's like a sheet of thermal material, and it works really well. So the way I do that, we have this whole big sheet here. Okay, I'm gonna find out, let's see, do I have one that's like about the same thickness? Okay, that's about there. That's a little bit too short, so I might have to cut completely brand new ones. Actually, this is like perfect size here. Okay, so we're gonna go from here. And what I like to do is I like to use a marker, and I'll line this up here, and then I'll find out where the edge is. So it lines up around there, and then we gotta mark this. Okay, so I know where to cut it. All right, so basically, oh, the other thing I do is I mark this on both sides, okay? That way I make sure that I take the plastic film off. Okay, so this, basically this one, we will cut straight this way. And then we will cut this piece off. this rectangle piece. And now we can drop it on there just to see how it fits. That looks good. Okay, so we're gonna now go ahead and peel a portion off. All right, it helps to use something to hold it in between. So usually what I do is I use the little plastic tool. Okay, and dropping it. Okay, and then once you get a piece of the plastic layer kind of coming up here, okay, so find a portion, get the tool under there, and you can use that to help, to help peel this off and away. All right, we'll set that there. And then now we have this rectangle of exposed thermal material. We'll flip it over. Okay, line it up. And drop that into place. Okay, so get that in. Also, when this sits down and the thing goes on top, it will smear it out a little bit. So if there's a little bit edge exposed, it's usually going to be okay. All right, but push that down. Okay, now we need to get this little portion here. That's too big. We only need a tiny bit there. That's probably about good. Okay, so we'll do this side now. And same thing, we'll do a little line here so we know where to cut it. Okay, and basically we'll cut that out. Okay. Right, so there's that. Mark this as well, just in case it peels off the other side. Okay, so now we got to separate this as well. Okay. All right, peel that off. There we go. Set that aside. We'll flip this over and stick that down. Okay, so, oops. It helps, if it helps, you can stick it to something like this. And get that lined up. And stick that down. All right, so now we got all of that coated. We're gonna peel off the second layer. Just like that. And this one, peel that off, just like that. Okay, so now that we got all of that off, we're gonna go ahead and put the heatsink back on. All right, so let's zoom out here. Okay, and then we'll just line this back up, the screws. All right. And usually what I like to do is I'll go with the first screw, okay? And I like to twist it backwards. And you hear it click and then go 1, 2, 3 forward. Second screw, same thing, backwards, click 1, 2, 3. Third screw, click 1, 2, 3. Fourth screw, click 1, 2, 3. Then we'll go back 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you can tighten that all the way. Then we can go here, tighten that all the way. Over here, tighten this all the way. If I didn't mention, these are numbered, so you know. All right, there's a 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, and a 4 here. We'll tighten the last screw. Good. Right, you can double check the screws, but it should be good after you tighten it down once. The fact that these are kind of like a spring kind of steel will make it keep pushing on there. So over time, it'll actually keep pushing down and spreading the paste until it's super, super thin, so that it'll fill all the imperfections in the metals. Okay, that's how you get good thermal coverage. All right, so there we go. Now we got to plug this back in. Just line it back up. Make sure it's going straight into the connector. Don't go in at an angle. And then I like to pinch both pieces together, okay? So that way you're not just pushing all the force onto the connector that way. All right, now we just got to get the bottom cover. Well, actually we have to get the battery back in and then the bottom cover. So let's go ahead and get the battery. Line it up like this. Okay, this has a little dimple that sticks up to line it up. And then this lines up and you can push that down to click the battery connector back into place. Okay, now we'll get all the battery screws back in and then put the bottom cover back on. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade or repair their device as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, if you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Again, I also have another channel called It's Been Reviewed and More. Same profile picture but zoomed in. If you could subscribe to that one, that'll really help me out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers on there. Right now my review videos are going up on both channels, but eventually I will just put them on that one channel. So yeah, hopefully that will work out better in the future. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and get the bottom cover here on. Okay, now that you got that, we're going to go up the sides to make sure everything goes into place. And we're going to go ahead and twist the screw. I like to twist it backwards, hear it and feel it click into place, and then tighten it down. Okay, the reason I do that is so I can make sure that the screw doesn't cross thread and go in crooked or go in wrong and then damage the part that the screw goes into. Okay, so we got that, and then we only got the other 3 screws here. We'll do the middle one first, and we'll do the sides. Okay, and the last one here. There's a little battery reset hole button there. Sometimes for Lenovo's it's a 1-key recovery button instead. So yeah, if for some reason your power button's not working right or something, or it's not turning on, you can try pressing there. Alright, so push in. Make sure all the clips click into place, and that should be good. All right, I don't know how much charge is on this. I haven't tried turning it on. I haven't tried turning this laptop on before doing this. Okay, some of the thermal paste crumbs were on my desk, and you can see it stuck to the back of this. So we're gonna clean that off. Okay, let me try and clean it a little bit better. It's a little gross. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's good. Ooh, I dropped my little squirt bottle. Okay, clean that up. All right, let's go ahead and power it up, see if we got anything. I don't know if they, okay, they did leave it charged, so that's good. The power light is on. And since we disconnected the battery, it might take a little while. There we go. There's the Lenovo. So we should be good to go. I'm going to clean the screen a little as well, because the screen's kind of dirty and has marks and stuff all over it. But yeah, we're good to go. It's powering on. Oh, there's touchscreen as well. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to shut this down. Well, one thing to do if you made any hardware changes, it's always a good idea to do a restart. So you can do that. But that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.